Good afternoon, Superkickin It with Stephen fans. Your favorite host, Stephen A. 11A1, right here to give you the Fastlane show. As you can see, doing a little screen share there so you can see all the matches we got going on. We'll sprinkle on some RAW and Smackdown talk, but I know the big show today is Fastlane, and then we'll finally be on the road to WrestleMania. That week of WrestleMania is going to be so busy for us here at Superkickin It with Stephen. There's going to be Raw on Monday night. There's going to be the Hall of Fame on Tuesday night. There's 2 nights of NXT. There is Friday night SmackDown. There's going to be first night on Saturday, and then there'll be a Sunday night. So plenty to talk about there as we head into WrestleMania. I always say I wish that we just got rid of Fastlane, and I know that we need to get rid of that, and then just let a big, kind of play a show, a long road to WrestleMania between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. But unfortunately, WWE loves to do these pay-per-views, so here we go. The first show, too, that's going to be on Peacock and the network. So we'll see next month where all WWE fans will have to go straight to the Peacock network to get your WWE fix. So right now, we're going to enjoy the time with the network. Hopefully, Peacock, I've looked at it a little bit. A little hard to navigate, so I'm hoping that they'll update that and make it a little bit easier. I haven't really seen a search bar, which is really nice on the network where you could just search for a match or search for somebody. So hopefully they'll get those kinks all fixed as it goes. But let's talk about Fastlane. Let's look at what matches we got going on. We'll start at the bottom and work our way up. We do have Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. We saw them go at it on Monday night. Braun got slimed, essentially, from the good old days of Nickelodeon happening there. And so we're going to get them again. I'm going to assume we're going to get it again at WrestleMania. I don't think this match even plays out that much. I think some, shenanigans will happen. And we'll see Braun Strowman, Shane McMahon go at it. Probably no DQ or last man standing or some sort of, gimmicky stipulation type match. And, I've said all along, I just don't know what this is doing for Braun. I just think he's the big show now. You're just going to throw him out there, and if it works for him, it works. If not, you just move on to the next thing. So, Shane McMahon, the time has come for Shane to be done wrestling, and we don't need Shane out there. I just keep thinking, we need some sort of stipulation. We've already had where Kevin Owens supposedly was going to fire Shane McMahon. That never played out. Then we had Shane McMahon's lockbox with Vince McMahon. That never played out. So this idea that, Shane just keeps coming back and, just shows up whenever needed, I guess is fine. But I just don't know what this is doing for either guy, honestly, right now. So my prediction is it's going to be a no contest. Like I said, just something's going to, Shane won't show up or something like that. You're just not – the match won't happen. Is my prediction. If it does, it does. But I think there still won't be a clean finish. Because like I said, I think ultimately we'll get these guys at WrestleMania, probably in a no DQ match, falls count anywhere type deal. So Shinsuke Nakamura and Seth Rollins are going at it. This is because of last night and the week before. So last week on SmackDown, we saw Seth Rollins take out Cesaro and walk into the back. He went past Shinsuke Nakamura. And then this week, Seth Rollins pretty much bragging about his beatdown of Cesaro and how, even though Cesaro swung him 22 times, Seth Rollins got the better end of it. And so then we had Nakamura come out and, tell him to shut up, essentially. And then Nakamura takes out Seth Rollins with the sell of the century there by Seth Rollins. If you haven't seen it, a nice little sell of the Kinshasa from Nakamura. So we'll get these guys going at it. I think Seth wins, maybe Cesaro. And then I think, we're off to the races for Cesaro and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I don't think we need a triple threat right now for that. I think that's why we're doing Nakamura and Rollins right now. And then we'll have Cesaro probably back this coming Friday, and we'll run off and run into there. But I think Rollins will pick up the win here over Nakamura. And yeah, we do ultimately the big match is what's going to happen, Cesaro and Seth Rollins. I really think Cesaro needs that win, that kind of push him up like Big E, kind of needs that. So we'll see what happens there. Next up, we have the United States Championship match. We saw Riddle win against Ali just past Monday night. So we're going to see this match again. Here's the thing. Retribution is on its last. I just keep saying it. I'll keep saying it. I'll keep saying it. Retribution is on their last legs. I don't know how you can keep circling back to it. Riddle's going to win is my prediction. I would go with Riddle for the win. And I think Monday night we see the end of Retribution, and those guys just probably all four of them, also Reckoning, Slapjack, Mace, T-Bar, all just need to go away probably till after, WrestleMania. I think, just leave them off TV. Because, we still haven't circled back to Ali and Kofi Kingston, which I think is what, I guess they're just going away with that, which is where we should have went for WrestleMania, especially after last year's WrestleMania type deal. But so we're going to have, I think Riddle picks up the win. And then we, like I said, Monday night, it's the end of Retribution. Ali just breaks it all up. Those guys go away and hopefully come back as themselves, or, ultimately, I think Mia Yim belongs on the main roster. I think she could be of help to the women's division. The other three guys, I think they need to go back to NXT, honestly. I just don't see where they could be used right now. So we also have the no holds barred match between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Obviously, this is all Drew McIntyre to win, and then we move on. I am glad we're not going Drew McIntyre and Sheamus for WrestleMania, with the title on the line. I think ultimately Lashley and Drew McIntyre is the big money match, and that will main event, the first night, and then I think Roman and Edge is on the second night. I think you could have Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks kind of be in that co-main event, so they'll be second to last, but I still do think we get, even though Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks is probably the bigger match, I do think we're going to get Drew McIntyre and Lashley for the WWE title at WrestleMania on that first night as the main event. And that's going to be a tough match to determine because, both guys need the title. So I don't know which direction we'll go with that. Next up, we have the Intercontinental Championship. We have Big E, the current champion, going against Apollo Crews. So we saw Big E and Apollo Crews, kind of talk at each other and then go at each other last night. And this prediction I'm going back and forth on. Apollo's doing some good work, and I still think I'd like to circle back somehow to get Apollo aligned with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso somehow as well, because we saw that slight tease, and or maybe Heyman being involved with him, but I think Apollo could use just a little more tweaking, and then he'll be there. I think I'm going to call for Big E to retain the title here. I almost maybe would wait to pull the trigger on Apollo winning the title next month and then let Big E kind of build himself back up again to get back in the main Universal title picture, because I think by the end of the year, we'll see Big E get a couple Universal title shots. And then I think Royal Rumble will be big for him. So we'll kind of see where that goes. But I do think Big E wins it tomorrow or retains it tomorrow. And we could see Apollo Crews grab that title. Like I said, I would love to see some sort of alignment with Paul Heyman. I think that could be a lot, especially in the, kind of talking of it, the part of it. I think Apollo's holding his own. I still don't know about the accent. I think it works, but, it's just kind of weird that he starts, just ends up with an accent out of nowhere. So getting towards the big matches here. Oh, I did forget Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss. That is a match to watch. I think there's going to be shenanigans, of course, there. I wonder if it'll be a cinematic type match, because I do think we see Bray Wyatt finally back, showing back up. I don't know what he's going to show up as. I think that's why we've waited, because I think he's trying to put those pieces together of what exactly he's going to, look like and be about. Since we've seen more of a satanic, demonic type deal, I think, you got to go that route a little bit with it. Alexa Bliss in the pentagram type deal, and, this bad blood spewing. So, I think it's going to be interesting to see how this all does go about. I don't think it's going to be a match as well. We are, with WrestleMania being just 3 weeks away, it's so hard for, I think, clean finishes to happen in these matches. I think it's okay if you just kind of play them up and, whatever shenanigans happen right now. But I do think we see Bray Wyatt as the Fiend show up in this. And like I said, I think it's going to be a cinematic type match, and no winner here as well. So I do have two no contests. I know, unfortunate, but just the way that, like I said, that's why this Fastlane is so hard to do when you're close to WrestleMania. I would just let a big, road play out instead of just doing this pay-per-view. Next up, we do have the Women's Tag Team Championships. So we saw Nia Jax lose to Sasha Banks last night. And then we also had Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler go at it. But then we had Natalya and Tamina get involved. So I think it's going to be Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax winning this match. Even though there was a little bit of miscommunication between them two, I think we'll wait till after WrestleMania for that to happen. Obviously, I think there's going to be a lot of miscommunication here for Sasha and Bianca just to kind of play their matchup, for WrestleMania. That's going to be the crowning of Bianca Belair. That's going to be her coming out party, truly. And like I said, I could see it being in that main event, but I don't think it's in the main event. I think it's like second to last match. So, but I do think Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax win. And then I think next month at WrestleMania, they probably lose the titles. I'm going to assume I think it's hard with Natalya and Tamina going against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax because that's heel tag teams against each other don't really work. I personally don't think. So I wonder if we'll put in Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke or Lana and Naomi somehow, or even the Riot Squad, just to kind of even it out a little bit, and especially if Natalya and Tamina, pin the third team in the match, and then that saves Shayna and Nia somehow. Even though, like I said, I think we get the breakup of them at WrestleMania and kind of, go off to the races with that. Finally, we do see Universal Championship, Roman Reigns, the current champion, against Daniel Bryan with Edge as a special guest enforcer. And obviously it's important for Edge to be there because I've said all along, I thought Edge and Roman together is the money match, but I think Daniel Bryan's making a hard case, a strong case for himself in there. And I think you got to pull the trigger on that. Especially you could save Roman and Edge down the road. You could save Roman and Daniel Bryan down the road, or Edge and Daniel Bryan down the road as well. So I feel like you can mix up, things there. So pretty much I see Edge getting involved somehow to screw Daniel Bryan. Now, mistakenly cost him the match type deal. Maybe Roman's tapping, but the referee's knocked out and Edge is, calls for the bell or something like that. Or Edge, somehow keeps the match going. There's going to be something with Edge and Daniel Bryan that's going to insert Daniel Bryan into that title match at WrestleMania. And it'll be Roman Reigns as the current champion. Roman's going to win this match. But it'll be Roman, Daniel Bryan, and Edge on the main event on that Sunday night. And like I said, I'll be interested to see if this is Daniel Bryan's truly his last WrestleMania. I don't think it is, but I do think we see a less of Daniel Bryan, as the year goes on. I wrote, next year especially, I would be curious if maybe he just shows up at WrestleMania time, try to get a match or whatever. But as far as Fastlane, overall, I think it'll be a good show. Like I said, I think there's plenty of shenanigans to happen with it being so close to WrestleMania. Some Raw, we'll take a quick commercial break and then kind of give some final thoughts, about Raw and SmackDown. So let's give you some real talk, and then we'll bring it right back to kind of wrap up the show for the day.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Dan over at BWSports1.com and Black and White Sports. And I'm wondering if you're ready to buy or sell that home, now's the time, and I got just the person for you. Mr. Sean Nugent, a.k.a. Rockstar Realtor himself. 317-503-8322. Put that home on the market. Get into your dream home with this man. Talk to Sean at Talk to Tucker today, 317-503-8322. And make sure you tell him the boys over at BWSports1.com sent you.
So some final thoughts as we kind of wrap up the show. Hopefully you enjoyed Fastlane. We did see this week that Eric Bischoff will be inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame. Well-deserved. I mean, he definitely played a part after the collapse of WCW. I think he really played an important role, showing up as the cancer that Vince McMahon promised and all this. I did put out a good comment, I believe, a good post saying, if hell hadn't frozen over when Eric Bischoff aligned himself with Vince McMahon, it truly has now. But I guess we won't see him on AEW TV much longer. But, so we have Molly Holly. We have Eric Bischoff. I wonder if maybe we'll let some of the inductees from last year, like Batista and the Bella Twins. I think they'll get a little moment. I do think, we'll get some sort of pre-taped induction speeches. But I think all those people should be involved, kind of make up for last year's as well. So other than that, I think Lash has been rolling along as champion. And that's why I said, WrestleMania is going to be such a hard prediction. It's going back and forth on Drew McIntyre, does he win the title for a third time? Or does Lashley keep rolling? And then, I think Roman keeps rolling along, but could you see Edge sneaking away with the title? I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. So I'm excited to finally get to WrestleMania. I think that week is going to be awesome. All in Tampa Bay down there. NXT will have their 2 nights to, kind of get things going. We'll have the 2-night WrestleMania. I wish we just kept that, that next year. They've already gone back to say we're going to go 1 night. But, who knows? Things can change. But I would love to see the 2-night extravaganza. I think it's, kind of cool. And it gives people, if you can't get to 1 night or, if you can't get to both nights, you could get to 1 at least or something like that. So, yeah. I am also, interested to see maybe next year if they get back to some sort of WrestleMania access type deal. Haven't heard anything. I just think right now it's too hard to do that. Obviously, meet and greets are never going to be the same right now. So, but you could probably still have some sort of access event where you get to see things and all that. And maybe you're just not as close to the person when you meet them. But I'll be, really interested to see how WrestleMania plays out next year as far as things go too, as we kind of ramp back up into reality and getting back to things on the right path. So enjoy Fastlane. Hopefully you guys, enjoy my Facebook. I'm currently on spring break for the next couple of weeks, so you'll see me a lot posted, hopefully, and be in touch about, if you want to be involved on this show for WrestleMania. I'd love to have as many guests as we can. Believe I've got my former co-host, Talking WWE with Jay, involved with it, so hopefully we'll get some other fans on. If you want to get in touch, Stephen A 1181, or just leave a comment right there below. And we'll hop you on, give some WrestleMania predictions, and talk up WrestleMania, the Super Bowl of wrestling. So I cannot wait for that. Enjoy Fastlane, enjoy your Saturday, and have a good day.
Super